So today we're going to go over our addition integer rules that you learned in 6th grade. And right here we're going to write the rule. So if the signs are the same and you're adding, what are you going to do? Simply going to add them. So write that down. And keep the sign. If the signs are the same, you're going to add them and keep the sign. If the signs are different when we're adding, what do we actually end up doing? We're actually going to subtract. We're finding the difference between the two. Now, this is the part where I want to make sure we use the correct terminology. I know y'all might have heard that you take the sign of the larger number. Did y'all hear that? That's actually not the best way to word that. Can anybody tell me why? Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but that's not what I'm looking for. But you are correct. So I want y'all to think of this. If I have a negative 20 and a positive 10, and I say keep the sign of the bigger number, what's technically bigger? 10. Positive, right? So we really don't want to say that because it's not actually the correct terminology. We want to say the heavier weighted number. So that's what we're going to write. The heavier weighted number. So do y'all understand why I really don't want to use the word bigger number or larger number? Okay, because positives are always bigger than negative. So we're not actually keeping the bigger signs number, we're keeping the heavier weighted number. Okay? All right. Now, just so y'all know, positives are like having money and negatives are like what? Owing somebody money, right? You're in debt. So whenever I think of it, that's kind of how I'm thinking of it. So if I have $10 and I owe somebody $20, after I clear it out, I have negative 10. I still owe that person $10. And so that kind of just helps you think of it in terms of money, okay? But what I'm going to teach you is a little trick called a T-chart. And so when you're adding positives and negatives, I like to make a little T. And I'm going to put my positives on the left and my negatives on the right. 8 plus 9, since these are both positives, then I would just put them on the left. And I'm going to add them together. 8 plus 9 is 17. And since they're both positives, I'm just going to keep their sign. Now, question. Do I have to put a positive sign in front of this 17? Why? How do I know that? It's called invisible math. It's assumed. And so if y'all look at this poster up on my board, these are a whole bunch of invisible math signs. And you'll see the first one says, if you have the number 5, there's actually a positive sign in front of it. We just don't write it all the time. Make sense? And so all of these are invisible math signs that you'll learn actually while you're in my class, whether it be in 7th grade or in algebra. Okay? All right, next question, we're going to change it. We're going to put a negative sign with the 20. So pretend I typed it there. All right, so let's make our T-chart. Positives over here, negatives over, and it really doesn't matter which way you do it. If you put negatives on one side, just do it the same every time so you don't confuse yourself. My positive is a 2, so it's going to go over here. My negative is a 20, it's going to go over here. So the rule says if I'm adding and the signs are different, I'm actually going to find the difference. I'm going to subtract them. And the difference between 20 and 2 is 18. We haven't dealt with the negative or positive yet. Now we're going to decide which one of these is heavier weighted. The 20. It has a negative, so my answer is going to be negative. Okay, on example 3, let's put a negative with the 10. Y'all want to try this one on your own? All right, do it with my T-chart. If the signs are different, we find the difference. We subtract. So what's the difference between 24 and 10? And which one of these is heavier weighted? 24. So this gets a positive. I do not have to write the positive sign. Okay, number 4. I'm going to make my T-chart. They are both negative, so I'm going to put them both on the negative side. If the signs are the same, I just add them and keep the sign. Why am I adding them? Because this is like saying I owe somebody $6 and I owe somebody else $6. I owe a total of $12. Okay, let's go do this one. Y'all do this one on your own. Okay, the signs were the same, so did we find the difference or did we add? We added them. I owe $3, I owe $7, I now owe $10. I'm in debt $10. Okay, last one. We added them because they had the same sign. I now owe $7. Good? Okay, I'm going to pass out your assignment. Please pass them down and hold them until I give directions. At this time, I want you to put your name at the top. Okay, make sure you're putting your first and last name because I have not learned all of you yet. Okay, so make it easy for me. What I'm going to do for today is we're going to do the evens. What does that mean? Only even numbers. So you're going to do, it just so happens that the evens are on the right side of the page, front and back. So you're going to do the evens. Now, I know a lot of you have already mastered the skill of adding integers. So if you don't need the T-chart, and you've got it, and you know I'm really good at this, I'm going to let you off with just doing it. Okay, but if you struggle with this, I'm asking you to please use the T-chart. Like if the T-chart helps you, you need to use it. Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may start on that, but then I'm going to go over some other things while you're working.